Thank you.
You want some now?
Yes, please. So, please take your seats. Now, who knows that theme tune that's going on in the background? Superman. So who's connected the dots? I gave birth to Superman. I think that's the first thing to say because I'm Jor'El. And Superman is the son of Jor'El, right? Now, fun tip number 2, always ensure you have your water on stage. Yeah, like it's so important. It's these little things that really make your life on here a lot easier. Now, when it comes to public speaking, sometimes it can be daunting. You know, you can get nerves. Even standing in the back and there's last minute things going on. Are my slides together? Am I mic'd up? But the fact of the matter is that you have to remain in control. Yeah. Always remember to remain connected to your breathing and have things like water. So one of my things that I get is that my mouth tends to get dry. So I'm going to intermittently take some water, and I'm sure everyone's okay with that. And I think the key to being a really effective speaker is understanding how your body works. Understanding what your unique things that you need to ensure that you are comfortable. Because ultimately, when you stand here, you have to be of high energy. We've spoken about that. And you have to be ready and comfortable to connect with people. You know, we're talking about the eye contact. And I'm standing here and I'm going to be sharing with you some of my, well, what I founded, which is cyber celebrity branding. I'm very, very excited about it. It's what I believe is my calling. And every time I get to stand in front of a group of people and share it, it just fills me with joy, number one. But I also want to share with you some stuff around how to communicate on stage and how to be an effective speaker. Because after all, we're at the Standout Speakers Academy, right? Yeah? Who's had fun so far? Raise your hands. Good. I'm one of them people that like to get people to raise their hands as well for all of those great things that Luke explained earlier. And I always invite every single one of you to submerge yourself in the experience. Recognize that every part of your senses should come alive. So as I'm standing here, I'm not just connecting with you with my eyes, I'm connecting with you with my energy. And as a speaker, you have to be so in tune with what's going on inside the room. Because when you're in tune, you can then detect when things are maybe lagging a little bit, like it's quite warm in here. So I know that I've got to be very aware of what's going on in terms of how I present to ensure that you lot don't fall asleep. And it won't be anything to do, well, it would be to do with me because I'm going to aim to not do that, but it's also about the conditions inside the room. And sometimes we don't take those things into consideration. And as you get more and more experienced, you begin to really relax and connect with those things more and more. Beautiful. So, just raise your hands if you know that you're here to make an impact. Awesome. Every single person inside the room. And I ask again, raise your hand if you know that you're meant to make an impact, but you're not quite sure how you're going to do it. Raise your hands. Or if you know that you're going to make an impact, but you know you could be taking it to another level, raise your hands. Because I'm all about the impact game. And that's what cyber celebrity branding stemmed from. And I'm going to share my journey with you to help you to really understand how that all came into being. And effectively what cyber celebrity branding is a way to help you. I created it as a vehicle for every single person to have their own individual expression. Because when you're speaking and you're on stage, it's all about your personality. It's all about who you are as a person and who resonates with you, right? Because we don't need to be serving everybody. We need to be serving the individuals that resonate with us. And I'm going to go into that in a lot more detail later. And also understanding that when you really connect and find what I refer to as the calling, it's all about the people that you can serve. And that's why I was so passionate when Luke asked me to come to help him to start and recreate the Standout Speakers Academy to enable it to run on a more consistent basis. And I had just finished sorting out everything that I was doing. I'd done some presenting gigs as well, and I was ready to really begin to share my knowledge with other people. And the reason why I'm here and why I work hard to bring people into this room is because I believe that, as I said, not everybody is going to be able to serve everyone. But you'll have your own unique niche of people. You will have your own unique niche of people. Every single person here will have their own unique niche of people. So could you imagine if you're serving your bunch and you're serving your bunch and everybody inside this room is serving their bunch of people, how much of an impact that could make? And that's why cyber celebrity branding came to the fore, because it was all about giving you the tools to make the biggest impact as possible based on a few things that I discovered in my journey to coming here. So just quickly, what we're going to be focusing on today is how can you take your goals for 2019 and really begin to manifest them? How can you take your goals for 2019 and begin to manifest them? Turn to your neighbor and say, let's begin to manifest. Good. Okay, so quickly, so who is this for? Because one of the things that we looked at was all of you noted down a purpose, yeah? And I understand that everybody inside this room will be on their own individual journey, right? So just raise your hand if you are currently working a 9-to-5. Right. Raise your hand if you're running your own business. Okay. Raise your hand if you're kind of doing an amalgamation of the two, like where I was, where you're kind of transitioning. You're kind of doing the day job, but you're really looking this year to kind of move into your full-time pursuit. Beautiful. Then every single person's in the right room. Did I, what's it called? Connect with everybody inside this room in terms of where they're at right now? Yeah. Yeah? Oh, tell me about your journey.
I sold my business last year.
Okay.
So I'm actually luckily semi-retired.
Oh, beautiful. So you're looking for a new thing to do.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Right, so this is for someone, if you are currently working a soul-destroying 9-to-5 and you're looking for that way out. Now, Luke mentioned that earlier on in terms of that feeling of going to work every single day. And my journey will show you that I gave my blood, my sweat, and my tears. And it still wasn't good enough because I was replaced by a machine several times. But it's also for you if you're a small business owner, but you're looking to create better customer relationships, right? So you understand that in this digital age that we're in, it's all about connection. And Luke mentioned something earlier. He said, if I want to work with you, I'm going to check you out. And there was a model of old where people used to hide behind a logo. So they'll set up a logo and they'll set up a very corporate, formal presentation of themselves. And that sufficed because there wasn't ways for people to really find out about the competition, yeah, or to find out about the other people in the area. So long as that logo looked good, you looked professional, and they had an instant interaction with you, that was okay. But the way that people interact now has changed. Since the birth of the digital age, people are now interested in people. They want to know who is the face behind that business. Who am I doing business with? Do they have the same values as I do? Do they have the same beliefs as I do? Because there's so much other people that they can check out. And the moment that they align with someone, that's the person they go to. Also, if you're an entrepreneur. So you like the variety of turning your hands to many different things, and you like to be able to use products and services to help others. But what tends to happen is, I find sometimes on entrepreneurial pursuits, you can move from one thing and you can get really excited and you can really set that alight, and then you step to do something else and it's almost like you alienate that audience. That all kind of like falls to one side while you're trying to get this started. But there's something I call the Richard Branson effect, right? Richard Branson is an entrepreneur that has multiple things going on. And the beauty of what he has now is that he's established himself as a celebrity brand. And so just by the mere fact that his name is attached to it, people trust it. They know it, they like it, and it's instantly able to generate an audience. And it's also enables him to be able to set something up, put people in place that can run those things for him, and everyone feels comfortable and secure on the ship because they know Richard Branson is at the helm. Right. And we'll go into that some more. And if you're a coach that wants to create multiple income streams in your business, this is also a vehicle for you, right? So if you know that you're currently working one-on-one with a client, You know, if your day consists of meeting people one-on-one all the time, that puts a cap on how much impact you can make. Because if you are in the impact game, you want to be serving as many people as possible. And so therefore you need to have a number of different income streams coming into your business. Yeah? So that's something that we'll look into later on. There's a system, I call it the Cyber Celebrity Automated System, where you can build those income streams in and get the lifestyle freedom. Yeah? I believe in working hard, but I also believe in enjoying life. Who here believes in enjoying life? I think one of the reasons why we walk on this journey and why we've inhabited this body, because I'm that weird mix as well. I'm logical, but I'm also spiritual, right? And I believe that why we're here is one of the things is to view beauty. There's so many things that we create. We are all mini creators, and I think we're here to enjoy that. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's time to start enjoying life. Great. Good. Oh, it was good. It's good. So let me tell you a little bit more about myself and my journey and why I'm able to stand here and share with you in this way. So where it all started for me was at the age of 16. There I was, really excited about life. I was a gymnastics coach. I started coaching at the age of 13. I loved to dance. I loved to sing. I had a natural performer within me. And I had this thing where I used to coach adults, because once you got to a certain level within gymnastics, they had this program called Adult Gym. And adults would come in and I would stand and show them how to do certain moves. So I figured one day, hey, if I can teach the adults, I'll just try and teach myself. So when everyone had left the auditorium, I remember standing at the edge of the floor and deciding that I was going to try and do an aerobatic move that I'd never attempted before. So there I was, and mid-flight, I jump into the air, and I turn one somersault, and I go to turn the next, but chicken out, and land straight onto my head and neck. And there I am in this auditorium, all on my own, and in that moment, unable to feel my toes, unable to feel my fingers, and just filled with the dread of whether I'm going to be able to walk again. You know, could you imagine how that feels? Well, as you can see, I'm standing, so it turned out okay in the end. But it took a journey to go there, because as I arose, after maybe about 5 minutes, and the feeling began to come back into my fingers and my toes again, my life was never the same. Everything that I loved to do just suddenly became harder. I was brilliant at school. Suddenly learning became difficult because I sustained an injury. And if we know anything about trauma, when trauma comes into the body, it can affect you in multiple ways. And there I went from someone that had this budding performance career ahead of me, everyone telling me that I had such promise, to being in a doctor's room, sitting in front of him, and him explaining to me that because of my injury that I sustained, I would have to have my leg in a cast for 18 months. 18 months. Full cast from hip all the way down. All I could do is use my crutches. There was nothing I could do. And I remember when he broke that news to me, and I had that sinking feeling in my stomach because I didn't have 18 months. And even though I received the news, 18 months effectively turned into 10 years. Because sometimes life happens, right? You put things on hold, you think that you're going to get them out of the closet again, and it just doesn't end up there. And after one BA degree and one master's degree, I find myself working as an engineer. So we're in the construction industry, high five to you. Working a 9-to-5 job, which I absolutely hate. And why should, sometimes I felt that I was ungrateful, right? Because I'm a contractor, so I'm making good money. And I've got my own little flat, I've got my great car. Do you understand what I mean? I've got all of the physical trappings of the world. But yet still, why am I so unhappy? And at points, I actually questioned myself as to whether or not I was ungrateful. You know, sometimes you think about that. Like, you know, you're in something and everything on paper says this should be it. Everyone looking outside and saying, oh, patting you on the back, congratulations, you're doing so well. Mum and dad telling you that you're making them so proud. But yet still, you've got an emptiness inside that you can't fill. And I didn't really know what it was until one day I get called into my boss's office. And he explains to me that he was going to let me go. Shock. Because I'd had one of my best performance months. So why on earth are you letting me go? And he explained that they brought some machines in, because I did planning engineering, so I was one of their planners. And they brought in the new technology. They had other people that they thought that they could hold the fort, so they could run the establishment with less engineers. So my skill was no longer needed because they could support it with machines. And he looked at me with a smile, even though I went in at 7 a.m. every day. I was coming home at 7 and 8 o'clock at night to ensure that we were making sure we were hitting our targets at the end of the month. And he told me he had to let me go. Well, I should have known then, but as you know, sometimes you can be a bit of a sucker for punishment. So I went to find another contract, only to find that within 6 months again, the same thing happened. And who thought I would have learnt my lesson then? Right? Okay, well, I didn't. And I went for one more. In the space of 2 years, literally, I'd lost my job 3 times. And I think I lost the wind under my sail because I couldn't quite comprehend how you could give so much of yourself to something, to help someone to pursue their dream and their goal, the construction company, and they could be so whimsical in just like throwing you away. I just felt undervalued. And I decided that something had to change. And I knew that I was going to have to find another job, but I needed to find my way out, and I needed to find it quick because I recognized that I wasn't the only one. People were losing their jobs left, right, and center. And I realized that there's this massive technological advancement which is meaning that this is going to happen even more. And I've now named it the technological agenda. And I believe simply is that capitalist bosses like to make money and they like to extend profits. And anything that's at odds with that is seen as a threat, and as the earliest convenience will be dealt with. We are human beings. We have fun. We have things that happen at home and it affects our productivity, right? So there's lots of different things where we aren't as productive as, let's say, a machine that can work 24/7. If the boss comes in and says to the machine, I'm not switching you off today, it doesn't answer back. There's no union. You know, it doesn't complain, it just gets on with it. So I believe that we are now being schooled to become the consumers as opposed to the driving force behind the capitalist machine. But this is amazing and it gives us a wonderful opportunity. Turn to your neighbor and say, are you ready for the new opportunity? Are you ready for the new opportunity? I'm ready. Because this journey made me delve deep inside myself. The situation that I was in, and sometimes we have to hit rock bottom. And I hit rock bottom then, because as I said, I had this lifestyle that I had to maintain. You know, I had certain things that I had attached to myself. And I began to really peel away those layers. And in my search, I remember being on the laptop, just again, trying to work out what it is that I was going to do. And up pops this amazing thing called branding. Now, what on earth do I have to brand? You know, some of those thoughts that we get inside ourselves, and we're going to look at those in terms of those limiting beliefs. Why am I going to a branding seminar? What on earth do I have to brand? I am an engineer. Can you brand engineering? Well, we've got a love engineer now, right? Okay, I didn't know that back then. Or you could have been looking at the love engineer. But up until that point, I was like, what do I have? But I took a chance, like every single one of you did today, and you decided to come and see what it's about. And that's one of the things I invite every single one of you to keep doing for 2019. If you're interested in manifesting your goals and you see an opportunity, if it feels right to you, get used to listening to that gut. Take the opportunity. So I took the opportunity. I walked into that seminar room and I heard the most powerful things that I've ever heard in my life. Literally flipped me upside down. And I heard that you have unique passions, talents, skills, and an amazing life story. And when you put that together, that is the thing that you brand. Yeah? Amazing passions, talents, and skills, and a unique life story. And when you put that together, that is the thing that you brand. And that blew my mind. And I became fanatical about branding. Any single seminar going, I went to it. I worked with gurus, Ty Lopez, Ted McGrath, to name a few. I invested in myself, £45,000 to be exact, because I knew that my way out was on the internet. And I was at that point where I knew that I didn't care what it took. I was going to get that and transition my life. So I knew once I looked at it, I said, yeah, I have got a few passions, I've got a few talents and got skills, but the main thing I really felt was that I wanted to help other people. And I spent time piecing all these bits together, and cyber celebrity branding came. But it didn't come straight away, and that's the thing. You know, it's about a journey, and recognize that life is about the journey. So once I accumulated these skills, I started to help a few people, and they started to get results. I was like, okay, this feels good. But I don't know if you recognize, you know, sometimes when you know that you're really meant to be doing something for you, but you distract yourself by doing it for other people. That's what I had started to do. And I remember, I think it's just over a year and a half ago, I sat myself down and I said, right, now charity starts at home. And I remember posting my first picture on Instagram, and I changed the name, because I had the Instagram account, but I wasn't using it. I just saved it, so that I had a space there. And I changed the name to Hi, I'm Jor'El, and some amazing things happened. And this is what I want you to take away, in that just one of the things that Luke was speaking about earlier is in taking the pictures, understanding the intention, right? And putting it out there. Branding's about putting yourself out there, but creating a massive vision. Write this down. It's about creating a massive vision that's so big that other people can see themselves in it. That when they're taking action on their own goals, they're also taking action on your goals. And often what happens is that we step out with a brand to brand ourselves, because it's a buzzword, right? But we don't recognize that it's actually doing something bigger. It's almost like your bat signal. When you see that bat signal, you know, Batman, and he beams that bat signal across the sky, and everyone knows that someone's going to get their butt kicked, that's what your brand is about. It's capturing people's attention. So they take notice and they can see the value that you can give them. So, posted my first picture, and now I think I'm on 11.8K followers. And that's all organic, and that's all grown in the year and a half that I've been doing it. I've also been asked and paid to work with dignitaries. So this is me working with the mayor of Haringey, and I was doing a show called Mr. and Mrs. West Indies. It was kind of a pageant. Again, people saw me and they said that they liked my style. Do you like my style, by the way? Yes. Yeah? Yes. Yeah? All right, good. So I've been booked, thank you. I've been booked to do some modeling gigs. Here's me at the same event, but this is with the ambassador of Haiti. Here's me hosting the Silk Road fashion show. Thank you. And this is me working for YouTube, and I did some interviews with Reggie and Bowley. And you know them, they were one of the contestants on the X Factor. And I won my first award. In fact, I won that award with my dear friend Luke. We kind of just met each other, and we both were nominated to this award ceremony, and we cleaned up that night, right? We both won, and literally our table seemed to be the winning table. And Chris won, for his video production, which you're going to see. And I take full credit, because I think anything I touch turns to gold. And this is me getting my second award just towards the end of last year. And this one's really, really means something to me, because it was in media and entrepreneurship. And I took that as a recognition to really understand and recognize the journey that I'm on to try and help other people to really get to where they want to be, because I'm all about impact. It's all about impact. I'm really proud to say that I'm going to be, this month, I'm going to be launching my book, The Secrets of Cyber Celebrity Branding, the only way to build a brand in a digital age. I'm also working on a platform which is going to also help all of you to really begin to master that cyber celebrity within. And I'm the founder of Cyber Celebrity Branding. And effectively what that does is it helps you to take what you know and to turn it into profit while having a massive impact and changing people's lives. And what you have to understand is you, whether you're in a business, whether you're retired, whether you're working a 9 to 5, you are the only thing of value. I don't care whether they tell us that this precious metal called gold is worth how X amount of thousands or millions. Because if it wasn't for one of us to actually go into the ground and give it the good scrub that it needed, it wouldn't be seen as anything. Our time and our energy is what makes things shift. And once you know that and you recognize that, that's when you have a massive transformation in the globe. Yeah, and that's when you begin to really recognize your power as an individual. And if you only say one thing to somebody, like, you know, sometimes we go onto a Facebook Live and everyone's looking in the corner to see how many people are watching. And maybe one person comes onto the screen and you think, well, what's the point of doing that for? Just give up on it, like no one's listening. You never know when that message is there forever. You've left your energetic footprint in that digital space. For that moment that someone's on the train heading to that 9 to 5 job. And you know what? They're at wit's end. And they've decided that when they get back home, they're not doing this again. And they're looking for a way out, and it may not be a positive one. And you say that one thing that they listen to, and you give them hope. Now, was that video worth it? Yeah? Turn to your neighbor and say, you're worth it. Okay.
Jor'El, by the way, you just gone past 12,000
I'll
on Instagram.
All right, thank you. Nice, right. So, before I delve into the whole cyber celebrity branding, I really wanted to give you an opportunity, and it was inspired by my story, to really begin to understand how you can manifest your goals for 2019. Because it was very interesting. I think Luke shared a video in the group, and if you join the Standout Speakers Academy, you get to access our Facebook groups and stuff like that. But for those of you that didn't get a chance to see the video, it was very interesting. A gentleman, I didn't watch all of it, but I got the essence of what he was saying. And he was saying that you could go to 1,000,000 courses with all the intention in the world to do really amazing things. But if you haven't got you sorted out, like if you ain't worked on that mindset and you ain't worked on that healthy lifestyle and you ain't got yourself in a place where you can actually stay on that track we call life, oftentimes it's going to get in the way. And I got stuck. I was comfortable. For years, 10 years, I was comfortable before I took the chance to stand here and speak to every single one of you. And I now recognize that I was doing a massive injustice to each and every single one of you, because if I wasn't here to share my message with you today, who knows? I don't even know what thought processes are going on. You know, you may leave and you may actually recognize from that statement I said, how you're going to now go on and have an even abundant career now that you've taken this next step, you know? And that's my goal. Luke mentioned it earlier. I want to ensure that every single one of you do not leave here in exactly the same way that you came in. Yeah? I want you to all recognize that you have the power to do what you want to do right now. So, as I explained my journey and as I began to transition from working this 9 to 5 to get into where I'm able to stand up and sound the founder of Cyber Celebrity Branding, and I realized that there was 3 main things that I had to do. And when I thought about it, I actually thought, if people get this across the globe, there are 3 nuggets that can really help you to begin to stand on your square. So the first thing that I I came to. And without this thing, I find that oftentimes you can be pulled left and you can be pulled right. Sometimes you're pulled forward, sometimes you're just knocked flat. And life can become very confusing. But once you find this thing, you get a sense of a grounding. And you put on a new filter. And you begin to see everything as an opportunity. And you learn how to absorb the information that you need. Not everything you're going to need. Not everything's going to be for you. But you absorb the information that you need and you begin to detract the things that you don't want. And then you get so good at it that you start only attracting the things that you need. And that thing for me was the calling. And I know we discussed, so Luke talked about the purpose earlier, and I do feel that the purpose is there. If that, sometimes we just need to be holding on to something, right, to begin to make the steps. But I don't want us to ever think that that becomes the thing. I really want us to take the time to really look at what is our calling. So what do I mean by calling? I love to use the tree as an analogy, okay? So right about now, we've got wood tables. Bang the wood. Bang the wood. Right, so it's a magic trick. I want you to make sure that you know it's wood. Right. Here, these are made of wood, right? Everything around us, you can see frames of houses in the engineering construction made of wood. And for me, that was the purpose that we created for the tree. And as you can see, there's several, 1, 2, 3 in this room alone. And I use as an analogy to say we all can be taken on different purposes. You know, if you've got children, who in the room has children? Right. Just by having children, you are now a purpose as a mother or a purpose as a father. Yeah? Working a 9 to 5, you've got a purpose as an employee. But the tree's calling, and I ask you lot to challenge me if you do not agree with what I'm saying. When it's got its roots dug into the ground, and the branches are stretching to high heavens, and it's exchanging carbon dioxide for oxygen, that was the tree's calling. And there is nothing else on the planet that can do it better. And I believe whether you call it God, the universe, the Big Bang, it's left a piece or a residue inside of you that you're meant to share with humanity for the betterment of us. I really believe that's one of the reasons why we're here. And when you find that thing, that's when everything gets set alight. That's when life takes off in a really big way. And I also believe, just like you'd place a seed in the ground and you'd add water to that and you would nurture that seed and it would grow into something strong, life has been designed to do that for you. So when you feel like you're having those lows, you know, where life feels like it's unbearable, you know, when you feel like you've got that weight on the shoulders, almost to the point where you can't breathe. But then somehow you manage to breathe and you get this amazing high and something shifts and you're like, wow, and you're on like cloud 9, only to fall flat again. Understand that life is designed to get you to find your calling. And life will continue to have those highs and it will continue to have those lows until you delve inside yourself to really connect with what you're called to do. That's why I was losing my job every left, right, and center. Because I know it was good. You know, you don't stay, you're not in an industry for 6 or 7 years and not be good. I was good at what I did. That's why I could command the fee that I commanded. But that wasn't what I was called to do. So I really want you to really resonate with that and understand it starts with your life story. Look at every high, and write this one down, every high that you've had and every low that you've had. And then you go back on top. Somewhere in between, you learned a life lesson, right? You learned something, like I am sharing with you today. You learned something that you could share with somebody else. And if you are looking for a way, maybe cyber celebrity branding could be a way for you to market your own business if you've got your own business inside the room. Recognize that people are inspired by people. They don't buy products or services, they buy lifestyle. They look at people's lifestyles and that's what inspires them. So your business could be, let's use construction as an example, where it seems so far away from something that you would need to necessarily be public speaking about. However, when you can relate to someone on your social networks and they recognize that you are a normal person, they grow to know, like, and trust you. And ultimately they grow to know, like, and trust your business. And they understand that you will have something that can serve them. And when they're ready to make their buying decision, because not everyone's going to buy straight away, they will come to you as the first point of call because you have been there and you've inspired them. Remember the key of this, and I really like to speak to the word celebrity. For me, it's not about superficiality. It's about creating a meaningful celebrity. And the reason why I chose the word celebrity was all about knowing that, and I'm going to go into deeper, that celebrities have an amazing ability to have a great impact. Hate them, love them, or loathe them, you're still talking about them, right? Now imagine if you were able to have the same impact with the message that you wanted to share. Could you see how the world would be a better place, right? So that's how we're taking celebrity. I'm digitizing celebrity for the digital age. Yeah, taking it somewhere where it's never been before. And you know the beauty of it is it's now accessible to each and every single one of us inside the room. We all now have the ability to speak and be heard, and no longer do we have to be held back by a gatekeeper who tells us that we can't have access to Good Morning TV, or we can't have access to these things. Or we sign up with them and they decide that they want to take 80% and give us 20%, when it's our energy that we're using to serve the people. Yeah, we now have an ability to change things and do it on our terms. The next one is your program. So once you understand that you're here to look for your calling, and that may be a bit of a journey, you then need to look at the program that you're running. What's that belief system that you have inside your head? What are those negative things that you may be telling yourself? Yeah? I don't like the sound of my voice. Right? That may be one. That was one for me. When I injured myself and I landed on my head and neck, the reason why I couldn't sing anymore was because the misalignment messed up my voice. And I went through a whole vocal journey, high five, to get myself back to where I am now. And that's also another string to my bow which I can share. But that was a negative belief system which I would say to myself. I didn't like the sound of my voice, and therefore I didn't want to speak, I didn't want to be in front of a camera, I didn't want to share, and as a result, I was doing a massive disservice to the people that I met. Yeah? So really look at the mindset. Turn to your neighbor and say, focus on your mindset. And that all comes with personal development. I used to get negative thoughts coming into my head all the time. But I've now got really good at talking back to those thoughts as well. And I've now got to the point where the moment that I feel it seeping in, because it always does, I stop it in its tracks. And that's what we want to do, because sometimes we think thoughts happen to us. Thoughts don't happen to us. You can be in control of your thoughts. They may happen spontaneously, but the moment arise, you have two choices. Either you agree with the negative thing that's being said and you solidify that as your future, or you choose to turn around and say, no, I'm in control of my destiny and I know what's right for me. Yeah? Great. And the final thing, once you've found your calling, once you've redressed that program, then you need to find a new perception. And that's a new outlook. And that could be looking for a new thing to do. That could be stepping into your new business. That means just taking action. Yeah? Taking action, because I believe that there's 3 keys to success. The first one is to find what it is that you want to do. The second one is to then find a pathway that's going to help you to get there. And once you get the 2, then you take, as Philippa likes to say, massive action. I remember I said action once because Philippa's been to my course, and I remember when she was there the first time I spoke. And I said, the next thing you do is you take action. And Philippa raised her hand and she said, no, you take massive action. Everyone stand up. And we're going to do one of them good energy raises. Just give yourself a shake. Because I'm talking about action. I think it's quite good to get the body shaking. Good, and then shake, putting your hands in the air and waving like you just don't care. And then I want you to do, that's what I'm talking about. Let's break the walls down. And then I want you to give yourself a stretch and say, I'm ready to take massive action. I'm ready to take massive action. Good, and take a seat. Beautiful, beautiful. And trust me, again, these are not things that will happen overnight, but I want them to be in your mind frame. I want you to be aware of these things. Because once you lock into them, the world opens up, and I'm testament to that today. Great, so I'm going to give a giveaway. And I want to give away a consultation with me, a 45-minute consultation with me. Someone inside this room is going to have that. And I'm going to sit down with you, and I'm going to look at where you are right now. And then we're going to look at where it is that you want to go. And I want you to challenge me. I want you to bring the most obscure thing that you thought wasn't possible for me to speak on, and I will show you that I can, okay? And then we're going to look at a pathway that's going to help you to navigate that through where you are now to where you want to be. Now, usually, as it says there, a consultation with me is worth £500. And this is an opportunity that someone inside this room, because they were an action taker, and why do I say that? Because who put their name inside this box? Right. If your name is not inside this box, let that be a lesson to you. I'm not even going to give you an opportunity. There may be a million reasons why your name's not in the box. You may have come a bit late. Right? You may have decided, oh, I don't want to put my name in the box because I don't want to have a chance to speak. But we have a rule here. If you want to be a speaker, you have to speak. So I believe everyone that's inside this box took action, right? And as a result, you're going to be rewarded for that. So I'm just going to open it up, give it a good old shake, and I'm going to pull out a name. And, yep, bang the wood. Let's get with the tree's purpose. The winner is Neil Greenwood! All right. All right, yeah. Good. Right, so Neil, at the end, come and speak to me and we'll get that all sorted out for you. But again, I think that was a good way to demonstrate. Take action. Everything that comes your way, go for it, because you know, your all testament of it always works out all right in the end, right? Yeah? Okay, cool. So, cyber celebrity branding, what is it that I teach you? I teach you 3 powerful things. Thing number 1, to help you to identify that calling that we spoke about and show you how you can use that and transform that into a 6-figure business. And I work with a very simple principle that we'll work with to show you that the maths are very achievable. Yeah? And it's based on your life story. The reason why I can stand up here, and I'm going to take a chance right now, and be engaging. Am I engaging? Yes. Right, okay, good, shoot. Right, so the reason why I can stand up here and be engaging is because my subject matter is so deeply rooted to who I am that all I have to do is be. Do you get that? Yes. It's so connected to who I am, I don't even need to fake it. It opens up to give me room to show my personality. It allows me to wear the clothes that I want to wear. Do you know, if I decide that I want to be in a more corporate setting because that's where the money's at, you know, if you work within corporate setting, you're going to make loads and loads of money, and I put on the suit, and I'm wearing this tie. Like, I had a suit jacket. I don't know if some of those of you that came early saw my suit jacket. But when I came on, thank you. But when I came here, I felt like I didn't want to wear the jacket. I wanted to have the freedom just to move and connect and express. Oh, thank you. They're just bathing in my sexiness. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to have the time and the freedom to just express. But if I was in a different forum or if I'd chosen a different business because I was pursuing money, that may not have been the case. I couldn't make those choices, right? Or if I did, but I would be looked at as weird and I wouldn't be taken seriously, so therefore I couldn't have the impact I wanted, right? So when you find that based on your life story and the life lessons that you have learned, because those life lessons you are qualified to teach. I say it again, the life lessons you have learned, you are qualified to teach. Why? Because even if you go to be a doctor and you spend 7 years inside that university room or whatever, wherever you're learning, they still then put you on the training ground to actually get the physical practice, because everybody understands that nothing beats life experience. So if you've got life experiences that you've been through, you may have been through moments of depression. You know, you may have been through moments of where you felt like it was just all too much and you just wanted to give up. But you're here and you're actually thriving. Then I think you can definitely say you've got something inside your head that you can share with someone right now and make a difference. And that's what, and I take the calling even further. Who are you called to serve? Yeah? When you go inside a training room and you practice, we've got Darcy in the back who loves to run marathons. We've got Luke who's going to be doing his first marathon this year. And they've already started training together.
And you are.
Oh, and me. Oops. I like to call it I've been voluntold.
I haven't sold it to you yet.
You haven't sold it to me, all right, cool. We'll speak afterwards. But they train because they know that they're going to do this marathon. What has life trained you and called you to serve? It's been training you to serve a group of people. And that's what we delve into. And then we find out how best to serve them. Yeah? Or how best to connect with them so you can so you may have recognized that you've got something, you've got a product or you've got a service, and you've got that in your bag, you're in it fully fledged right now. But how best to communicate it to the person so they understand the value you can add to their lives so that they come on the journey with you. Because if you can't communicate your message clearly in this media saturated world, then it's like having the cure for cancer. Could you imagine if I had the cure for cancer and all I did with it was put it on my desk and invited a few of my family and my friends to come and marvel over the cure for cancer, but I never got it out there? I'm going to call it was better that you weren't the person to birth that cure into this world, right? But every single one of you are here and have been birthed for a specific reason. So that's one of the things that we look at. We also then look at how to build a lucrative cyber celebrity brand around that. Yeah? Like I said, everyone knows Batman is coming because the beam goes into the air. Yeah, everyone knows about the Batman bat signal. Yeah? Troubles are lurking and we just suddenly see this bat signal and everyone knows that it's all okay because Batman is on his way. That's what you're effectively doing with when you're creating a cyber celebrity brand. And then how you turn that into a 6 or 7 figure lifestyle friendly business. Turn to your neighbor and says it's all about lifestyle. Could you imagine you have been through all of this journey? You've escaped your 9 to 5 and now you're in this new vehicle which you're traversing life with. To only get stuck again because you're just working one-on-one, and if you don't work with that patient and you don't do them back to back to back to back to back, then you're not going to have enough money to pay the bills, and so then you start working Saturday and Sunday and effectively you become a slave to something that was meant to set you free. And why? Because we didn't take the time to actually put the planning in place before we started to do the thing. How do we make it lifestyle friendly from the go? Or if you've already got into that situation, which is great because you've taken the step and you're doing it, how do you now restructure what you're doing to ensure that you've got different streams of income coming in? So that, but in an automated way, because that's the beauty of the internet. In an automated way so that you can actually step away and go on holiday, like Luke's gonna have to go away with Mia for their honeymoon. And as he said, he's worked it out. This is still gonna keep going. And that's because there was thought planning into it. Luke went on the journey and he recognized doing it by myself or not having an automated process set in line makes things difficult. Genius. I'll now structure it. Now, if he had that in the beginning, Standout Speakers Academy may have been a lot further on, but I do believe in divine timing. So everything happens at the right time. Don't ever forget that. Great. So how? How do I teach you to do this? I teach you to do this by showing you what all these successful people have in common. So let's see. Who we got? Yeah, could be Beyonce, could be Kim Kardashian, not quite sure. They wouldn't say. Kim Kardashian. And does anyone know that? It's Joe Wicks, the body coach. Right. And they have 4 key things in common. And that's based what my program's based off. And I'm going to share those 4 key things with you now. So I've created a framework called the Cyber Celebrity Branding Bliss Framework. Okay? And so if you come onto one of my 3-day courses, which I'm hopefully going to be able to share with you and tell you how, these are the things that we will cover. And these are based off my observation, because when I began and stepped out on my journey, I was like, I can see people having amazing successes on the internet. I can see people having amazing successes in the physical world. Let me see if they're actually doing the same thing. And when I actually melted it down and looked at the essence of what they're all doing, I realized that they put these things into practice, and this was really responsible for their success. Or some of them may have signed contracts with teams, and the teams put these things into practice, which was responsible for their success. But the thing is, well, however which way they did it, they found the information and they did whatever they felt they needed to do at the time to get access to it so that they could make the next steps in their journey. Right? So what is the first thing? We've kind of spoken about it already, but I strongly believe that if you don't have this thing, you're playing too small. It's not on a big enough game. Remember, I talked about the overarching umbrella where people can see themselves in it. And the thing that I'm talking about is branding while leveraging your skills. Yeah? Your unique passions, your talents, and your skills. And putting them all together with your life story, those life lessons that you can teach. Can you see how my entire life story, everything I've learned, has turned up to this stage? And that is what you want. Yeah, where it's all interlinked, because all you have to do is be. And those celebrities and those successful people, they wake up in the morning and they are just themselves. They get paid to go to the gym. They get paid to eat healthy. They get paid to wear the best clothes. They get paid to do everything. They just have to live, and they're still making money. And that's accessible to each and every single one of us because of the tools that we have right now. And to do that, I teach, the famous FACE framework. Yeah? So we've got a framework which we'll go through together on the course. But when you're looking at creating your brand, what many people don't do is they don't think about how they're going to monetize it. How do they create a brand with income in mind? Yeah? Because again, if you want that lifestyle friendliness, you need to work out how you're going to create your income. And I work with a simple principle. I work with, if you can get 1,000 people willing to spend £100 with you for the year, that starts you off at £100,000. And that is automated. And that is such an achievable goal when Eric Schmidt, one of the founders of Google, says that by 2020, there will be 7 billion people on the internet. 1,000 out of 7 billion is very doable. And then if you work with myself and we look at how you can make that into an automated structure, you can then begin to learn the process of bringing people through that process in an automated fashion. So what I talk about is having the information that's inside your head, right? I've made that very clear, your life lessons and the things that you're meant to teach. Because what's happened is that people have become hungry for information. Yeah? Yeah, in fact, I'm going to delve into that deeper, so I'm going to put a pin there, leave you hungry. I once heard a presenter and he said, it's my job to leave you horny, my dear. And I was like, huh? And then the penny dropped, right? Okay. So income. So we've got a cyber celebrity finance formula that we look at. Structure. Once you understand the income you make, then you've got to create a structure that you can take people on, a journey effectively. You need to create a digital journey that someone comes in the beginning and you can take them on a process. Some tools are done where I think there should be 3 different income streams I've talked about, so I'm going to share them with you now. So there's some tools which you create once and you allow people to use over and over again without you having to deliver that. And that I call a do-it-yourself product. You create one do-it-yourself product and someone comes in and they work with that. You've also got do-it-with-you products where you do one to many. We're in a do-it-with-you type product right now. And then you've got your do-it-for-you product where you're working one-on-one. And that's when you can charge your highest premium and your highest quarter, because that's not where your money's made. And I like to go into depth, but if we look at, let's say, Beyonce, they give away singles and they practically give away albums. Why? Because they're your do-it-yourself products. They're all interested in getting you into a do-it-with-you experience where she stands on stage and she sings to thousands. And then they say, right, we can then look at the cream of the crop. Let's say the Sultan of Brunei, he wants to have his 30th birthday party and he wants the hottest person on the block to perform. Now we can charge 30 million or 40 million for you to turn up and sing for 45 minutes. So can you see how they work out the structure inside their head? Their team puts this structure together before she even steps out and does her first interview. The Lemonade album, which was her latest album where she was talking about her breakup with Jay-Z, was a brand. They branded it first and they called it Lemonade. We're going to bring you in. Your skill is singing, and we're going to pack your life story into that, and we're going to create it in a way that everyone can relate to it. And then she dances and she performs and everyone's like, yeah, and they're really emoting when she then does her ballad. They have the income in mind. I just shared that with you, from albums and singles all the way through to do-it-yourself products for the Sultan of Brunei. They create the structure. They drop that single first. They then drop the album, and then instantly she's on tour. And then from there, she's then doing bits and bobs behind the scene. And only then do they go out and start building status. Now, you may think that you see Beyonce all the time, or you may see a celebrity all the time and they're getting on your nerves, just get off my TV. But it's people talking about them. They always disappear for a period where they kind of go quiet. And everyone's making noise separately and creating their own thing about them because they've created the status that people want to speak about them. But they go quiet until this is all in place, the album's ready to drop, and then they start making noise and building their status and starts going on the TV programs and the TV shows and really generating the noise, because they know when they generate the noise, they've got their structure to start serving people. Now imagine if we could do the same thing. And it's all about just building the ladder until what I call you become a cyber celebrity A-lister. So I give you the tools to be able to set yourself up as a cyber celebrity brand. Have your income in play, have your brand, know what your brand is, Unstoppable Diva. And via leveraging, we came to Unstoppable Diva because while we were having a discussion and we were talking about the life lessons and stories, and I said to Philippa, how did you feel when you were there? She said, I felt unstoppable. And I was right, and I was like, right. And then we went with it, and then Diva, I mentioned the word Diva, and suddenly Unstoppable Diva was born. Because, of course, you can go and you can learn these things. I told you I put £45,000 in to learn all these different things. But it's also about the person. And it's whether or not that person's going to have the artistic flair, whether or not that person's going to take the time to connect with you, to really help you to delve inside of yourself. And that's a skill I like to think that I have, or I wouldn't be here today. So then you start your status. And when I say status, you're posting Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of that is status building stuff. But lots of us are building our status and we haven't got this stuff in place. So that's why we sometimes say, oh, I'm going to have a digital detox, so I'm going to leave my Facebook and my Instagram alone. And we feel really guilty about being on there because we feel like we're wasting our time. But imagine if you did this, knowing that every single time you did it, you were actually helping to transform somebody's life. It would flip that whole idea and that notion on its head, right? And imagine if you could do this and set that up and go off to India to tour for a while, knowing that you've created a video which connects and brings people into this, right? So that's the depths that we're looking at. So 2 questions, which always comes up, and you can tell me if you are one of the guilty parties. Don't be afraid. Really? You're telling me I can be a celebrity? Who thought that? Did anyone think that? Raise your hands if you thought that. Okay, good. Now remember, we talked about program. You definitely can be a celebrity. Don't forget that. And the next one, I'm going to show you why. Next one is, why on earth would I want to become one? Yeah? That's the 2 questions that's come up. But I hope I've answered with really, you're telling me I can become a celebrity. We're in a very unique time right now. We're in the digital age. And with the digital age, it shifted the games from having gatekeepers that stopped us from accessing the celebrity gates to us now having a free opportunity for now. But let's look at it. If you placed, someone told me that my nan's house that she bought for £1,000 was now going to be worth 1.2 million pounds in Hackney, I told them, get out of here. A 4-story house you bought for £1,000. But we had busts and we had all these different things that they calculated, and they told us that house prices are rising and now it's unaffordable. You can't buy a house in London. But here we've got an opportunity to own our own patch on the internet and to really make use of it for maybe £1.99. If you pay for it for a year, it's probably like 20 quid you can get your domain space. But suppose we have crashes and we have busts and we have all that kind of stuff, and then a domain space becomes £50,000. Is that accessible to us right now? So this is why taking action is crucial. If you want to get in the game, get into it now, because they're making the internet attractive, because they know they've got 7 billion people coming on. But also they want to recognize how we use the internet before they can begin to start policing it and regulating it, and then slowing down the amount that we can actually use it to help and serve. But once you're in, you're in. And that's what all of Richard Branson, once he got in and he understood his business fundamentals, he's there and he's just continuously rising. And he'll be someone that tells you he doesn't even think about busts and all that kind of stuff. And we have the opportunity again today. And also here, this is a reason why you potentially could want to become one. So if we look here, when you're an unknown, so you kind of like are probably in university and you're just about to maybe get a retail job to help start paying your tuition and stuff, you can earn between 0 to 20K. When you become a specialist, you know, everyone talks about becoming a specialist, so you maybe move up in the ranks, you're now more of a senior member of staff, you can earn between 20 to 50K. When you become an authority, an expert or a thought leader, you hit this bracket and you can get between 50 to a million. But when you step into the cyber celebrity sphere, you now have the ability to command between 1 and 10 million, but you also position yourself at the top of the tree, where when you eventually elevate to what's called a cyber celebrity A-lister, you now begin to attract media opportunities. Old media starts coming to your door and says, okay, let's collaborate, and you then begin to help on a global scale. And I know it's not all about the money, but money helps us to make impact. And it helps you to be comfortable in order to really share what you need to share. So, master your cyber celebrity brand. Let me explain a bit more about it. So it's a 3-day training. Yeah? The next one's actually on the 22nd to the 24th of February. Yeah, so if that's not too far away. And what that is that you get a fully interactive workshop with me. Yeah, and we delve in and help you to build your cyber celebrity brand for whatever means you need it for. If you've got a product or service already, we create your brand around that to help you to get it to leverage to more people. If you're looking for something new to do, a new wave, we help you to package that so that you can connect and see how you can make that a possibility. If you want to be a speaker, again, how do you stand on stage, connect with your message, and also have products and services that other people can take the next step with, right? You learn the entire Branding Bliss framework, which I talked to you about in the beginning. So remember we talked about the famous FACE formula, so branding while leveraging your skills. How do you create a brand that's intrinsically linked to who you are, so you wake up every single morning and just be. Just be. Income, we look at, right, now you've got this thing, how can you begin to start building an income around it? In fact, it's like having access to one of Beyonce's team. You come in and you learn the structure for yourself, but then you get to go out and not have to give them 80% of what you earn. Do you know what I mean? And have to work your whole lifetime, and then suddenly you realize it's too much because you're not having to do the things that you want to do. So you end up drinking and smoking and falling off the edge, all that kind of stuff. And I believe when celebrities go on that pathway, it's because they know that there's something that they should be fulfilling, but their calling their purpose that they got caught up in has taken them off that path. And life is trying to say, get back on it, get back on it. Structure, we look at the 3Ds. So I shared with you the 3 different income streams that you can have inside your business. And every single one of them will be different for individual people, you know? And also your status. So once you've done all of that, how do you then begin to raise and elevate? How do you start to rise and begin to consistently be known for that signature thing, for what you're called here to do? All documents and resources and templates, I lay it all out. It's literally, you get everything you need, and it is done interactively. So I'm here and I only have a certain amount of time, so I have to share, right? And I've tried to keep it fun and I've tried to keep it engaging. But if you come onto the course, you actually build your brand in real time. And when you leave out, you know exactly what you need to do to start building from wherever you are on whatever level you're on, to keep working and keep climbing and keep moving towards having the maximum impact you can have. So, and here's a group of students, as you can see. There's Philippa, and there's Sonia. There's Sonia. Yeah, hey. Right, so the investment is usually $4,995, okay? But today, we're at the Standout Speakers Academy, and we're all about helping you all to take action. Also, it's about giving you the startup that you need to be able to really make the impact for the rest of the year. So I'm really interested in people getting onto it early. So today's investment is just £750 for the 3 days. And everything, as I've discussed, is included. We even have the film maestro at the back, Chris, who creates amazing videos for you. So what we do is we kind of deconstruct everything. We build it all back again, and then you get put out onto the media circuit, and you have cameras, lights, and actions, and how do you cope under pressure expressing your passion and your idea. And there's just 5 spaces. So if you're really interested today, when I finish my seminar, I'm going to go to the back of the room. I believe we're going to have a break. Come and see me. If you have any questions or anything that you need me to answer specifically for you, I'm totally down for doing that. Don't hesitate. And I'm also going to give you some bonuses, if you take action. So you'll get a free signed copy of my book when it comes out. I will sign it. So you're not going to have to go on Amazon and get one of them which you can't then resell for millions, right? You actually have a signature, free signed copy. That is big. You can actually say, I met this person. And that's just a hint of where I'm going, right? Free access to my online courses. So my platform comes out, you have access to all of that. And also you get to have free 2 30-minute coaching sessions with me. So once the course is done, we then get to sit down and really begin to pack it together. Because it's a journey, as I said, I create the foundations for you to start off in the right way, or to reconfigure what you currently have to really be able to take the next level on this. It's a digital globe. Like, let's just face it, like everything, if we look at all the shop fronts that are closing down, everybody is in a social frenzy and are making the move online. And you can be in a position to really capitalize on that and grow. And then, as I said, it's a journey. You then work, and you're working to become the best version of yourself you can be. Because every time we see a celebrity step on stage, there's something different. They've lost weight, they're glowing, they've been through life experiences, they mature, we see growth, but they're looking to be their best version. Then they get to that point where they're like the Will Smith type, where they start now sharing the motivational stuff because they've been through some stuff and they recognize the superficiality, and now they can take it deeper. So it's all about growth. And so the total value of all of this is £6,254. But today, as I said, I'm going to be at the back of the room. You can come and meet me and we can talk about it. And it's for £750. And I'm going to just end with just to give you a visual representation of what that looks like. It's Sonia.
without.
So can you hear it?
Technical team.
Sonia to the stage.
Thank you.
For a long time I've been looking for something really new to do. I'm so fortunate to come across Jor'El.
Because I'm seeing the light bulb go bing. I'm just over different people's heads. I can just see light bulbs, light bulbs, light bulbs. That's the energy I'm seeing as we were getting these breakthroughs, which is great.
Yeah, one day he just started to describe his new program. I said, wow, that's what I need, that's for me. Because I've been on a journey for the past 5 years. I've been to all the major seminars, all the people that you can think of that are selling something out there. I've accessed it because I've wanted to start my own business for a long time. And I've had so much frustration, and frustration has come from the fact that I've paid thousands and thousands of pounds. I have all this knowledge in my head, but unfortunately, I just don't know where to go with it. At one point, I was just losing courage and losing faith in the whole system, and just thinking, maybe it's not for me. That's my good luck that I have, found Jor'El. Because Jor'El has provided such an amazing program this weekend, his 3-day program, and where I learned about the idea of becoming a cyber celebrity. I know how to put together my backstory, and I also know how to brand myself. And the way that Jor'El has organised his course is so smooth. Every little bit of detail is chunked into small, actionable exercises to do. And then I had the realisation that I am the digital super achiever. I'm kind of like, wow. This is what you're talking about, the celebrity branding. This is me, this is my identity. So they look like Beyonce.
Yeah, give Sonia a round of applause. And I think that every time I watch that, I'm really, really proud. And Sonia's on her journey. She's beginning where we're going to be working and then really pursuing that. But the beauty of it is that it's not just about being in a room. It's about the people that you meet and that journey that you go on together, and seeing people coming in and not being really sure, to being able to stand in front of a camera and on one go and just literally deliver to camera, which is absolutely amazing. I've had such fun sharing with each and every single one of you. All I can say is thank you so much for taking action and being here. And as I said, if you want to find out more, or you want to take me up on the offer, 5 spaces, please come and see me at the back, and I'm there to answer any of your questions. Give ourselves a round of applause.
Please put your